With the increase in cybercrime, the government needed a law to deal with digital crimes including defamation, harassment, fraud, and hate speech. Article 233 specifically addresses specific acts of cyber abuse and aims to protect citizens from bad information and abusive behavior. Section 233 of Malaysia's Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, CMA 1998, which focuses on the improper use of network facilities or network services, seeks to regulate the use of the Internet and communication tools, especially in the Internet. Establishment of Multimedia Super Corridor, MSC Malaysia. The Malaysian government launched the Multimedia Super Corridor, MSC, in 1996 as an important platform for the development of the digital economy. In order to ensure the legitimacy and orderliness of the digital economy environment, CMA 1998 was created as a legal framework to safeguard this vision.
Internet anonymity and law enforcement challenges. The ease with which modern Internet users can hide their true identities or use offshore servers poses challenges for law enforcement authorities, difficulty in tracking and forensics, especially in cases involving anonymous social media accounts. Law enforcement agencies need to rely on international cooperation. Boundaries in the application of the law. How to enforce Section 233 when foreign users or content are involved faces issues of international law and sovereignty. Internet anonymity and law enforcement challenges. The ease with which modern Internet users can hide their true identities or use offshore servers poses challenges for law enforcement authorities. Difficulties in tracing and evidence collection, especially in cases involving anonymous social media accounts. Law enforcement agencies need to rely on international cooperation. Boundaries in the application of the law. How to enforce Section 233 when foreign users or content are involved faces issues of international law and sovereignty. Potential risks of abuse. The flexibility of the law's provisions could lead to the following problems. Politicized use. Critics argue that governments may use Article 233 to silence political opposition or critical voices. Personal retaliation. Ordinary users may also abuse the law to retaliate or threaten others, for example through false reporting. Lag due to technological changes. Emerging platforms and technologies. As new technologies, e.g. crypto communications and blockchain and platforms, e.g. short-form video platforms, meta-universes evolve. Section 233 may fail to cover new forms of abuse in a timely manner. Cross-platform issues. Content may be distributed across multiple platforms, making it difficult to track and address effectively.
We have four main research objectives, which are to assess the impact of the law on freedom of expression, to explore the application of the law in the digital environment, to study the fairness and transparency of law enforcement, and to survey public perceptions and attitudes towards the law. Firstly, the first objective, we will analyze the specific restrictions and impact of Section 233 on different types of speech such as political, religious, and commercial speech, and explore the effectiveness and shortcomings of Section 233 in balancing freedom of speech and social order. Examine whether the application of the law in different cases demonstrates a generalized threat to freedom of expression. The second objective, we will examine the applicability of Section 233 in responding to new types of cybercrime such as disinformation, cyber harassment, and data breaches in a digitalized society. Explore the challenges and impact of technological developments such as artificial intelligence-generated content on the enforcement of Section 233. Analyze Section 233's jurisdictional issues in cross-border cybercrime and harmonization with international cooperation. The third objective, we will explore the consistency and transparency of law enforcement agencies' procedures in implementing Section 233. Investigate whether the law exhibits a tendency for selective enforcement in cases with different contexts, such as against political criticism or ordinary citizens. Examine whether bias or discrimination exists in the enforcement of the law, such as whether it targets particular races, religions, or groups. and assess whether the enforcement agency has sufficient technical and professional capacity to enforce the provision fairly. The fourth objective is to investigate the public's specific understanding of Section 233 and their evaluation of its effectiveness. Examine whether the public believes that Section 233's restrictions on freedom of expression are justified or whether there is a risk of abuse. Analyze the public. Section 233 of Malaysia's 1998 Communications and Multimedia Act focuses on addressing improper use of network facilities, aiming to regulate online behavior and combat cybercrimes such as harassment, defamation, fraud, and hate speech. Introduced as part of the government's Multimedia Super Corridor (MSC) initiative in 1996, this legislation was designed to support the growth of the digital economy while maintaining security and order in cyberspace. Research into the application and impact of Section 233 has highlighted several challenges, including potential restrictions on freedom of expression, enforcement transparency, and its adaptability to rapid technological advancements. A study was conducted involving 30 participants, aged 21 to 25, including students from media, law, and other disciplines. Focus group discussions explored their awareness of Section 233, its usability, and overall opinions. Findings revealed limited knowledge of the law, with 50% of participants entirely unaware of its existence and only 17% possessing partial understanding, mainly among media or law students. Responses to whether the law could be utilized for self-protection were divided. While some saw it as a tool to address issues like online harassment, many lacked clarity on the reporting process and legal assistance, expressing doubts about its accessibility for the general public. Perceptions of the law were mixed. Its purpose to regulate the online environment and prevent cyberbullying received broad support. However, criticisms included vague terminology, potential misuse for restricting freedom of speech, and concerns about selective enforcement. Calls for clearer definitions, transparent mechanisms, and improved public education about the law were prominent. Recommendations emphasize regular updates to the legislation to align with technological advancements, increased transparency in enforcement processes, and public awareness campaigns to ensure citizens can effectively use the law to protect themselves. The study found that university students generally have a low level of awareness of Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. About half of the respondents were entirely unaware of the law, while some had heard of it but lacked understanding of its specific content and application. Only a small number of students, primarily those in media or law-related fields, had some knowledge of the law. This highlights a significant gap in public awareness, particularly among students from non-related disciplines. When asked about the practical usability of the law to protect their rights, students' opinions were clearly divided. Some believed that Section 233 could provide legal support in cases of online harassment or defamation. However, a majority expressed confusion over its operational aspects, such as the reporting process and access to legal assistance, which they found unclear and difficult for ordinary citizens to navigate. Additionally, some students felt that without professional legal help, individuals might struggle to rely on the law effectively. Despite these challenges, most students recognized the positive intentions of Section 233 in regulating the online environment and combating misuse, particularly in addressing cyberbullying and false information. However, concerns were raised about the law's vagueness, which could lead to misuse, such as restricting freedom of expression or targeting critics of the government. The lack of transparency in enforcement and potential selective application of the law were also highlighted as issues undermining public trust. Overall, students supported the legislative goals of Section 233, but emphasized the need for improved enforcement transparency and clearer legal provisions. They also suggested enhancing public education about the law, particularly on how to use it legally to protect personal rights. These improvements would help increase the law's practical effectiveness and public confidence.